Let's go, baby. Got our raw milk here. So yeah, we're taking a little drive over here to our raw dairy farm, Fresh Start Farms. Michaela Fulper is the farmer. She's a 5th-generation dairy farmer who actually moved herself from her family farm in Lambertville to Pennsylvania over here in, off Dark Hollow Road, kind of right by High Rocks Park. We met her by cooking for her and her husband one night, really having no idea anything about raw dairy or about anything in the industry, honestly. And just discovered that while we were there cooking for them, that they live on a little micro dairy farm. So she probably has about 5 cows and maybe 2 calves or so right now. And from meeting them that day, we have never bought, served, drank ourselves dairy from anybody else. And then learning about the whole thing, we kind of saw how we were slightly lactose intolerant. Not enough to where we would avoid it, but you know, it would kind of upset our stomachs a little bit if I had whole milk in my latte and things like that. And after meeting Michaela and getting on the raw dairy train, it's completely changed the way I look at dairy. We drink it at least once a day now and have 0 issues with it, 0 intolerances with it. It's one of the most nutrient dense and healthy foods we can be eating. So we always choose raw dairy for ourselves personally and for what we serve in our business and how we make our ice creams and things like that. Still haven't quite integrated the 2 flocks together yet. These are our original 6 and our rooster. We've had them for a little over a year now. We have not lost a single one, which is awesome. Gonna give the chickies some Brussels sprout kimchi. Hi girls. Hi girlies. Come on, in here, over here. You got to go back in your side. Come on, girls. Hi, mamas. What's going on, babies? Hi, girlies. Hi, girlies. Oh, watch yourself. Sorry. Come on. Gotta get you back in your side. Come on. Come on. Come on. Back in your side. Come on. You want to be picked up? Come on. Come on. Back over. Back over. Come on. Back over. Come on. Good girls. Come on. Come on. Come on, mama. Look at this one, it's so friendly. Yeah, you're a cute, friendly girl. Come on, come on. Come on, mama. All right, let's make sure we don't ruin our brand new car here. It's gonna ruin my Hey Dudes instead. Bye, girls. They're a year younger than us, so they're about 26, 27, probably 28, 29 now, like we are. But yeah, just discovered them by just them doing dinner. They would do Thursday night date nights, and they had us over for a date night. And again, we've been friends, and we've been using them ever since. After hearing about this, we started diving a little bit more into the history of raw milk, why it's illegal in certain states, how we kind of got to this point now in society where we think that it's bad for us or it's dangerous or something like that. Raw milk can be more dangerous if the farmer is using unsanitary practices. It's great to know where you're buying it from. That's why, knowing your farmer is probably the best practice you could have. We always have a saying that local trumps organic. So knowing somebody local is better than buying organic and not knowing the person growing it, or things like that. So we know Michaela has very cleanly practices with her cows, and there's never any issue. But the history of raw milk goes back to us when we moved into cities, like a lot of other things, that we were living on top of each other, we were spreading bacteria much more easily, and then ultimately you still had to drive out to the country to buy your raw dairy. So we assume that a couple capitalist businessmen who were in the city saw the opportunity to kind of monetize milk and saw how Michaela in the country is making so much money selling her raw dairy. They said, let's bring a few dairy cows into the city, and they put them in what we now know of today as a commercial feedlot. And so the cows were living in unsanitary environments. They were literally living in their own shit like they do in feedlots. And in that environment, there was fecal matter getting into the milk that they were selling. And so people were getting sick, they were dying. It was probably a pretty bad time in history. But instead of being honest about the way the cows were raised, about the living conditions, about their quarters, these men called up their friends in Washington and had them pass legislation that said raw dairy must be banned or it must be illegal and it's dangerous and it's bad for us and all these other kind of propaganda type things that we see today. And so they kind of forced out a lot of the dairy farmers and made people believe that raw milk is bad for you. We like to joke how we've been drinking milk for millennia. It's what human beings have kind of evolved with. So it's insane how in just the last 60 years or so, we're all of a sudden told that it's bad for us. I don't really quite buy that. And then we saw how with the pasteurization becoming more popular and these really, really big kind of monocrop, dairy farms made litigation about pasteurization, and then the equipment to process milk in this way was very expensive. So it almost made some of these really small dairy farms unable to keep up with the kind of, price to play in the game, which forced a lot of them out of business and allowed a lot of these really big kind of industrial commercial farms buy up all the small mom and pop dairy farms, which, if you learn anything about the food system, is probably the worst thing for us to happen, is kind of one mono corporation controlling our food and controlling who's producing it and the litigation that goes into it, who gets to kind of get involved into it. So kind of taking some of our sovereignty back is just knowing your farmers, knowing where your food's coming from, being able to go meet them personally. We know all 5 of the dairy cows here. We know all the new calves when they're born. We get to kind of pet them and see how they're interacted with every day, see their diet, see what they're eating, and again, see the person who's milking them. It just gives you such a sense of one, pride of knowing where your food's coming from, but then also kind of a sense of security to know that you're being taken care of, and the people who are providing the food for you also care about the people they're serving it to. There's something to be said about that.